So shall we start then? Okay, so let's start today's webinar. My name is Stas, and I am the man who is talking with you on the live chat on MotorData website. So you can see we're real men, we're not robots. So when you ask us for question, we're always ready to respond to you. So today we will arrange a presentation for the MotorData information system. And I welcome everyone who will take part in this webinar. So first of all, let's go through our webinar. It will take about 1 hour, maybe less. So first of all, I will make a presentation for the LEGION-AUTODATA company, and it will tell you the story how MotorData was invented. Then we will talk about the advantages for MotorData Professional database for diagnostics and repair. And of course, we will browse through information system, and I will show you some hints and tips how to use it with the maximum effect for your business. At the end of my presentation, I will arrange you some special proposals, especially for those who visited this webinar today. And we will have a Q&A session. If you have some questions during the webinar, please write them down in the chat, and I will read them all at the end, and we will respond to all of them. And after the Q&A session, I will pass a word to my colleague Andrei Charikov, who is in owner of the workshop, and he uses MotorData every day. So he prepared special case studies how to use the MotorData, and he will share his information with you. So let's start. The company, which is named LEGION-AUTODATA, was established more than 25 years ago, back in 1994. And at that time, it was a startup which was invented by young professionals who were studying in the technological colleges. As you know, there was no internet at that time. And in our country, in Russia, we had a big flow of foreign cars and had no information how to repair that. And the guys who established the company, they still work with the company. They also were very much interested in car repairing, and they were real enthusiasts for Japanese cars. And there was no information how to repair Japanese cars at all. So they start together that and share with friends. And at the end, in 1994, they established the company LEGION, which was named LEGION, and they started to publish books, mainly dedicated to Asian cars. Now there are thousands of books published and sold, not only in Russian-speaking countries, but also in the whole world, and they are mainly dedicated to Japanese cars, right-hand drive cars, which are supplied in Japanese domestic market, and then as a second-hand cars, they are sold to other different countries in Australia, New Zealand, and African countries, Middle East. In 1996, the company made an agreement with famous British provider Autodata. That's why the name is called LEGION-AUTODATA. Since 1998, the company started cooperation with famous German company Bosch and published a lot of books dedicated to Bosch systems and Bosch repairing manuals. As you know, about 20 years ago, there was a big rise of internet technology, and also LEGION-MotorData went digital. In 2007, the first MotorData Professional system was launched, and all information which has been collected before 2007 was digitalized and inserted into this system, and that became a basement for the cars which were sold before 2007 for the information system which you use now, which is called MotorData Professional. Since 2014, the company started exporting licenses to overseas market. So now the system is available in several languages, English, French, and Spanish. And we have a lot of customers all over the world. I will show you a map a little bit later, and you will see how many customers we have. And the last development was done in 2016 when the company launched Diagnostics software, which is called MotorData OBD. And I will tell you, I have one slide about that. I will show you what it is, how to use it. And in short, it is diagnostics system for smartphones, which you can use with any ELM adapters. And here's the map. You see the figures there, and they are not just a number of license owners, they're cities. So in some cities, we have 111 users, and some cities 278 users. Of course, in Russian-speaking countries, we have about 90% of penetration for the market of those who are dealing with Asian cars. But also we have a lot of customers in Africa, Middle East, Central and South America, and also in Australia, who are using our database for the car repairing. Because now that database started with Japanese domestic cars, but it has been enhanced a lot since that. And now we have a lot of Korean cars, exported Japanese cars, and also Chinese cars. And what is there, I will tell you a little bit later. So in a short, if we talk about the MotorData Professional system now, we have 500 models from 25 automakers from Japan, Korea, Russia, and also we started editing European makers. And the first one, which is covered pretty well, is Renault, French brand Renault. Our system includes 16,000 wiring diagrams with intuitive, interactive, interlinked data and color wiring, and how to use it, how you can jump from wiring diagram to components back to DTC explanation and to wiring again, just through the menu of our system. I will show you a little bit later. Another advantage of our system is that we collect trouble codes and explanation for these codes. And besides that, we add procedures, what a technician should do if he has a problem linked with certain trouble code. And most of these explanations we received from you, from our MotorData users. And now we have more than 20,000 trouble codes with detailed explanation how to do diagnostics. So we call it guided diagnostics procedures, which are also included in the system. Beside that, our engineers developed a very useful and search engine where you can find the trouble just login to the system and type in the trouble code which you have, or the engine type which you're working with, or transmission type. And how to use that, I will show you also just after several minutes later. Okay, before we go into the MotorData website, let me know to accent you on the main advantages which bring you more profit and give you competition, more stronger competition in comparison with other technicians which are working on your market. First of all, the system is totally online. There is no need to download any application to your PC or to your smartphone. So all you need is just browser. The system is so easy that you can use any browser you wish, and you can access it 24 hours, 7 days a week from any place, from any gadget. It could be a personal computer or your smartphone or any system. Just open the browser, type in motordata.net, sign into your account, or go straight to the database and start working. The system is regularly updated, and we are planning to inform our customers in regular basis what is new as soon as we add a new portion of information to that. And we would like to know which car models, which system do you wish to be included, because we do not just copy diagrams or procedures, we work them out. That means that our engineers do a very hard job to identify if the wiring number or the ECU pin or the color is correct, because even OEM documents have a lot of mistakes, and we find out them in recover in our database. Also, it's not easy to input all cars, because we would like to be concentrated on those models which are most important for you. And of course, we have a lot of unprinted and a lot of data which is not processed yet. So we will pick out the most interesting models out of that and insert them in the first priority into the database. All parts of our system are linked to each other. It means that if you want to go to wiring from the, let's say, component description, you can do it straight with double click of your mouse or the tablet if you see. And that's why we have a special interlink engine which moves the system, and it saves a lot of time. And I work a lot with other providers, and I should tell you that none of other providers can do the same things which are doing with interlinking. And how it is working, I will also show you a little bit later. All is done. The reason why it is done are the requests of our users, who are technicians, who are working in the workshops, and also the developments of the system, they are working in the workshops. That's why they know that time is money. That's why our goal is that you shouldn't spend money for searching for the data. Everything should be clean, should be easy, and you can go straight to jump to another section of the system from any component description you're working with. Also, we have a very interesting feature which is called analogy diagnostics. As I have told you, it's not easy to input all data for each manufacturer, because the same car could have a different name on another market. So if you want to work with certain engine, you can start a search menu by engine and find the same engine on different car. And when I am working online with you on our live chat, I have a lot of requests when our customers cannot find the model they are searching. So I advise them to search not the model but the engine, and they can find the same engine on another model, maybe sold on another market, but they can find information about the ECU layout, because ECUs are pretty sure they're similar. They can work with wiring diagram. Of course, we cannot guarantee that a different model, the wiring diagram could be exactly the same, because different models, so they have different configuration, but on the range of 70, let's say 90%, it will be similar. And they can save a lot of time for us for developing and for you for searching the information you need. So, in a whole, what are the main advantages of MotorData comparing with our competitors? First, that we have 20,000 number of 20,000 trouble codes explanations. We have 16,000 colored wiring diagrams. We have location of component maps, so you can find a component and find where it is located in certain car. We have a diagnostic procedures, and I will show you how to use them. We have a ground points all over the body, mostly on all cars. We have ECU layouts, both on wiring end, on the ECU side. Also, the unique feature, which you won't find on any other search in the information database, is indicators, explanations, and liquids information, which I'll show you a little bit later. We also do cooperation with main scan tool makers, for instance, with Carmen Scan, this Korean brand. The cooperation started back in 2014. Instead that, almost all customers on their tools can have an access, and they get a promo license from us to log into the MotorData. and use it not in demo but a real mode for several months, and then they can make a decision if they want to extend the license or they want to drop MotorData and work with other information system. Now let's go to the website of MotorData.net, and I will show you how to do registration. Okay, here we are. So I will log out of here. So when you type in MotorData.net, you go to our main page, and I will show you how you can find the information on that. Before you start to work with MotorData, you can check what is the coverage. Okay, we have some trouble. Well. Sorry, this is some internet issue. Unexpected. Okay. Oops. Page is not found. Okay, no problem. Let's go here. Okay, I will go to English version. Here we are. So first of all, check features. And this is the section. And here you can find a lot of useful information, not about the coverage of the system, but also about the models which are included and the description of these models. So we have the brand, the number of models which are described, the number of system by each brand which is here. So if you choose, for instance, Toyota, you go to the coverage, interactive coverage page, and here we see the models and what is there. For instance, if it is, let's say, Toyota Allion, you can see the engine, electrical system, automatic transmission, CVT transmission, and then what is included: DTC, conditions, then technical bulletins, wiring diagrams were concentrated over the wiring diagrams mainly, then ECU pinouts, check procedures, location diagrams, fuses and relays, and connectors description. And you can go straight to the data from this menu, but in order to log in, you should be registered. So if you want to be registered, look here, we have 3 doors into the system. First of it, sign in MotorData Professional. This is straight enter the system when you have already had an account. If you do not have an account, you should go here to register button. And if you have an account and just want to, let's say, extend the license or stop the license, you can go here to where it is called sign in. So I have an account here, which is okay. I think it is not valid. Yes. So look here. My account was expired last year, and I ordered a demo access. When you first log in, the system proposes you to purchase a license or to take a demo access. And lots of our customers, they prefer demo access. But the demo access is just a sample for 2 Toyota models. You cannot check other models. They are all locked. So in order to unlock the other models, you should purchase a license. But before the purchasing a license, you should cancel your demo access. And we have a special button here on the bottom, which is called cancel order. So you can proceed to payment only and to new license choice only after you cancel the demo license, and then you start a new order. So again, you have, let's say, 2 choices, demo access or full access. If you choose full access, we provide 5 different licenses. The cheapest one is 5 weeks. If you just want to get information how the system works, I advise you to take 1 week. This is just $9. But if you're a professional who is working with Japanese cars every day, I advise you to purchase 12 months license. And now we have a special discount because I think that some of you who logged in and have already an account and checked the system 2-3 months ago, that was a price which was much higher. And now the 12-month usage is just $207 per year. So it means that per month you are paying less than $20. So this really worth this information which we provide. So if you choose the 12 months license, you proceed next, place an order, and go into payment. And then you can choose 3 variants of 2 variants. First and the third is an online payment with card and PayPal payment if you prefer PayPal. So after you pay the license, you receive an acknowledgement to your mail, or just log into your account, sign in MotorData account and check if it is open for you or not. So I will move now to my another account, which is here. Okay, so after you log in, you find yourself in the main menu of the system. I will reload it again. Okay, here we are. So on the left side of that, we have a number of cars. Of course, we have all Japanese cars. We have all Korean cars. We have some Russian cars, and we have some Chinese cars. Among European cars, if I have already told, we have Renault and some Peugeot. Not so much because there are other competitors which have much better coverage for European cars, but our uniqueness and let's say an apple which is acknowledged by our customers is that we are concentrated over Asian cars, Korean, Japanese, and Chinese cars. So, for instance, you sign into the system and you have a trouble code. What I advise you? I advise you to check the code. Let's say this is just a sample from yesterday. We had a customer who had a code on his car C0095. And we have a very useful menu search by trouble code. And the system identifies what brands use this code and what models this code is used. And the issue here, important issue, is that the same code number could have different meaning on different car makers. And I will show it to you with, look, the BYD F3 model, this code, this is stop lamp circuit open. But the customer who called us yesterday had a Chevrolet car, and it was Lachetti. And on Lachetti, an ABS system, C0095, has totally different explanation. This is hydraulic modulator retain. So before going into choosing the Chevrolet, the Lachetti, the year, and the ABS system, you can just log in with trouble code, and immediately you will find the list of cars which support that code, and then you can go deeper into the code and explore what does it mean. All right, so for instance, we can choose another model. I think let it be, okay, let it be Camry, some new one. Okay, let it be here. So for Japanese cars, we have a different version, same for Korean, depending upon the market where this car was sold. So for instance, here for Toyota, we have USA market as a separate menu, we have Japanese domestic market, and we have European or general market. Sometimes European and general could go together. Sometimes European specification could be a little bit different from general. For instance, The previous body of Camry was totally different in United States and European market, but the current generation is almost same. It's the same body and a lot of systems they are unified in order to decrease the price for development and maintenance from Toyota. So if we choose the Camry, then we choose a system, let's say engine management, and we see three types of engine to choose. So we choose the engine which we want, and on the bottom line, this is the main menu where we work. So for instance, we have a trouble code on the engine 2GR-FE and we want to check it. So we click this button DTC and we load the full list of codes which are applied to a particular engine. And for instance, we have P0017 code. We see explanation here, and on the bottom, we see the possible causes and trouble locations. So this is what we called guided diagnostics, when you can see, you can find the trouble code with the scan tool, and here you can find explanation of that and the steps which you should do the next in order to find the malfunction and get rid of that. And I advise you not to erase the trouble code as soon as you retrieve it from the car. And later I will show you one example which happened about a month ago with Nissan cars, when the codes were deleted by some inexperienced technician, and it led to a very wrong decision about the car repair. Okay, so if we want to go into wiring diagram straight from the DTC, just double click on it and the button wiring diagram will be opened on the display. It is double here on the bottom menu. So click to it and we go straight to wiring diagram. They are all colored, they are all interactive. On the left side, we see the list of components, and if the component is highlighted, we can get information about this component. With the scale, we can adjust the scale. And this is an example of very, very big and long wiring diagram. And what feature is useful here is tracing. We can choose one of the cables and trace where it goes, because you see on this car, this connection with junction box, and it is connected to, here is automatic transmission control module. This is very long, so sometimes when we enlarge the scale of the wiring diagram, it's not easy to find where it is goes. So we should move from one corner of the display to another. So tracing feature is unique for our software, and it's very much useful. I use it every day, almost every day, especially in the newest cars which have very complicated diagrams. And here we have an engine ECU, and note this digits, the number of pins of ECU. And if we double click, we can go straight from wiring diagram menu. We go to another menu, to ECU layout, and we can find the pins layout of this ECU. We will go there a little bit later and identify how to do diagnosis for concrete component which is connected to this particular pin. Note that all wiring have the unique colors. They are real colors and abbreviation of colors, and the components where they're going to. For instance, this is a mobilizer control unit. They are all signed, or let's say multiplex control unit, which is connected by CAN line. So you go all to these components straight there. Just double click the component and you will see the connector shape. And you can go straight to element check of this connector or description of this connector. So if we go to the description of the connectors, this is another button on the bottom. We can see its shape. Or if we want to return back to the wiring diagram, we can return and find the component onto the wiring diagram. So if you want to know how to check this element, this is knock sensor, go to element check. This is the button on the bottom menu with multimeter. And here we have the list of components which are applicable to this engine, to this ECU, and we can see the explanation how to check them. The terminals numbers, the resistance that should be on this terminal, so we can take the multimeter, check the resistance on this component and find out if it is faulty or okay. For instance, the same we can do with oxygen sensor or injectors, or we can go to pin data. This is another button to the left of component check, and what we see here we find the ECU, and we can check both lines on ECU side and on wiring loom side. Just on the menu, this is the button on the right corner. They're now hidden for me, but you can see them. And if we choose some component, here, for instance, let it be injector 2, here's the information and list of the components which we can check. We can see the test condition, so injector is tested, of course, on idling. The value for our scope, look to the right, this is the scope diagram, which we set for 20 milliseconds per division to find out, to catch the signal from the scope, and to 30 volts to identify it. And of course, we see the pin number A85 and A22 on ECU layout and the color of wiring. If we choose another element, for instance, injector 6, you'll see the different color and the different configuration on the ECU. If you want to find some technical bulletins, we can go to TSB button of the system, and here we can find the information. Some is collected from Toyota, some is collected from our customers. And if you are our customer and if you want to supply us some information which we can include here, maybe it will be video, we welcome you and we will praise you with a special bonus, like an extra month of motor data usage. And that is what I will tell you about a little bit later. So, for instance, we have a malfunction with engine mechanical. So, and if the problem with the oil motor, we can go to the explanation and find information what should we do and what happened before with other people with exactly this computer. So we have hundreds of TSBs collected in the system. Customers. Another useful feature is ground point. So if you want to get the information where a ground point is located, so you can go to another menu, choose the component, for instance, junction box. You can find where it is located. Double click to this. You see the applications which are assigned with this junction box. You can go straight to wiring diagram, or you can go to junction box map. This is another menu, and here we see the map full of relay and fuses and other boxes which are also located on this car. And if we click some particular connector, we can see that this is ECU connector 3C, and where it's go to air conditioner or body control. If it is a fuse box, let me show you junction box 4. Yeah, we can go to wiring diagram and find where these components are located on our wiring diagram. So as I told you before, everything in our system is interactive and interlinked. So connectors menu, that is what we have already checked. Connectors which are applicable to this engine, they're collected all together. You can click any of them find what is the element, how to test it, or if you have a loom with this connector, you can go choose this connector and go to wiring diagram and identify what it is. So in this case, it is crankshaft position sensor, and how it is wired to the ECU, which pins. Again, it is here, and here you can see the scope signal to identify the crankshaft position sensor button. Another menu which is useful and has become very popular with our customers is indicators on the dashboard. Very often the owners, especially of old cars who are second or third owners, they have no idea what is the dashboard indication about, and sometimes they do not have a user manual because the book is lost. So here you can find very detailed information about many indicators that could be applicable to this car. This is Toyota Camry, and I explore this database every day, and I've been doing diagnostics for about 20 years, but every day I find some new indicators which I have never been seen before. For instance, 90L, what it is? Okay, so this indicator lights up when an additional fuel tank is used. So maybe you will never find this indication on your car, but some cars they have. So this library is the largest in the world. None of other providers have it, and it's very much useful. And when the lead is on, just ask your customer before he comes to your workshop, what he sees on his dashboard, and go in this library. And for instance, if he has a icon like this, so he has a trouble with a TPMS system, and you can find detailed information what to do, system description, information about TPMS initialization, everything what happens when this LED is on, what you should do, and you can see how you can show your customer that you are a professional technician because he has no idea about the LED on his instrumental panel. But you tell him the story, and believe me that in 99% of cases he will come to your workshop and do repairing and increase your profit. Another very useful menu is the liquids, and I use it very often and for my car too, because I don't have a Japanese car, I have an Audi, and when I go or prepare for the regular maintenance, I go into this menu, find my car, because I do not remember what liquids I should do, for instance, for 60 kilometers service or 100 kilometers service, let it be Audi. Unlike the wiring and the diagnostics database, this section includes not only Asian, but also European and American cars. And this is the most comprehensive data about the liquids and maintenance information in the world comparing to others. And I check it on my own car, so I know it for sure. For instance, we can check Audi A6 C4, click the button, get the data, because this data is loaded from the server. And here you see the engine information by engine type. For instance, I have CDYB, and this is 3-liter diesel engine. So for this engine, I should prepare 8.2 liters of oil, information about the oil. If I have a trouble with cooling system and should refill it, I can find information about the liquid for cooling liquid or transmission liquid, transfer case, front differential, rear differential, steering, clutch, everything. All liquids which are required in the car, including the fuel and capacity of the tank, which is also going to be very much important. And the list of abbreviation. This is the menu of the right side, where we collect the abbreviations and the information like decryption of these abbreviations, and so you can find the short phrases which are widely used in technical information and technical manuals. So this is all I wanted to show you about the motor data, and I will return now back to my presentation and show you a case which happened about 1 month ago with Nissan. So what was the story? I just want you to show you one example how the application to the wiring database helped to save a lot of money for the customer. So, oops, sorry. Okay, this is what I show you. Okay, here it is. So we had the Nissan Qashqai car, and the car came from another workshop. So the trouble was CAN communication. None of the ECUs communicated with the scan tool, and we used the OEM scan tool, which is cancel 3, and the only fault which was present was U1000 CAN communication circuit. However, we had a perfect communication with ABS module. So the ABS module on that car was the only module which communicated. So an experienced technician decided that the trouble was an ECU, and he thought that the trouble with the blown body module, and he decided to change that. And the price for body module was pretty much expensive. And another technician decided to check what is happening with the car in reality, and what was the real case for that. So his question was, if there is a CAN communication line, why ABS module is alive and communicates with the scan tool well? So he decided to check the wiring diagram first. And let's go back to MotorData system. Here we are. So go to the main menu, choose Nissan. Okay, here it is. Okay, so it was a Nissan Qashqai. Okay, here it is. And we'll go to ABS. Okay, here it is. And check the wiring diagram. So this is the wiring diagram for ABS for Qashqai with the trouble code U133000. And you can see that this module, here's the module, he's connected to other modules through CAN line. And the reason why another technician, the young technician, was wrong, he thought that the module communicates with diagnostic sockets through interface, and the trouble is there. But if we explore this wiring diagram a little bit more precisely, we can see this. And this is just a K line. And CAN line is connected straight to diagnostic connector, DLC, which is located here in the car. And so this was the reason why the CAN line was down, and the reason why the ABS module communicated well with diagnostics. So the real reason of trouble on this car was corroded wiring near the airbag module. But let's say in other modules, they will check only after the experienced technician check the wiring diagram. And of course, he couldn't do it before without having access to very detailed diagram, which is true, and show the whole communication line within the car onboard network. Well, so in the end of our presentation, we will return back. And I will tell you just 1 minute about another project which we have, which is called MotorData OBD. This is a diagnostics software which is dedicated to smartphone users. This is applicable for Android, any Android version or iOS version. You can download it from Apple Store or Google Play Market. And it is not just an OBD tester. This is much more enhanced software which is developing, and we have about 500,000 users worldwide for this. And this is totally free. This is totally free on default. But if you want to open some deep diagnostics features, you should purchase a license, which is not so expensive. It's just about a couple of dollars, maybe $2, $3, and you can get a full diagnostics tool, let's say hybrid system of Toyota Prius, and it won't be just trouble codes. There would be data parameters, some special functions, and we are working on adding more and more features to this software, which is becoming very popular, especially in the overseas markets. And it is also translated in many languages like Spanish, French, Arabic, Chinese, Korean, and it's very much popular in Middle East, Africa, and South America. And we have a special proposals for you. So I thank you very much for attending this webinar. And I would like to have special proposals for you. So first of all, as I have already told you, we have a special price like $215 for those who attended this webinar, and for all of you, we will give you a 1 free extra month if you purchase a one year subscription. So again, if you purchase 12-month subscription, you will get 13 months subscription for very small money, much less than other users. And if you want to have 3 extra months of subscription to our database, just send us a short video clip or example how you use MotorData in your daily work in your workshop, how it really helps you. Just send us feedbacks and we will praise you. We will support you with extra months of our information usage. Now, before this is not the end of our webinar. In the end, there will be some more case study from my colleague Andrei. If you have questions, just type them in our chat and I will read them out and I will try to answer. So I'm ready for the questions. Okay, so if there are no questions, we go on with webinar. You can put your questions later and we will answer them. So I'm very glad that there are no questions. So our webinar and my explanation was pretty clear. Now I will pass the webinar control to my colleague Andrei Charikov, who is not just workshop owner and technician, but he is also MotorData user, and he will share his experience with you. Okay, so I stop demonstration.
Hello. I tell you about usage of MotorData. I use it every day. It's very useful and help to save a lot of time. That's why you can earn much. For example, a few days ago, We repaired Toyota Avensis. MotorData can use not only experienced users. I show you how it used from the beginning. For example, choose Toyota Avensis.
Could you go to the display of your to display of your PC, because we see your video but we do not see your.
Okay. No, так, Okay. Choose a car which you repair. In my case, this is Toyota Avensis. We connect diagnostic tool and try to read data codes. For example, select section DTC, find diagnostic connector location. If you see this car the first time, it helps you to save time. It's in the legs apartment of the driver. Connect diagnostic tool and read DTC codes. In my case, the code was 1203. Let's find it. In my car, this code means that communication line with ABC and UC and engine control unit is breakdown. Next, we open wiring diagrams to find where is the problem. In this wiring diagram, we see ABS control model, and we can find this bus to ECU. If you see this car the first time, you can use component location to find components in the car. You see that ABS control module located in the right front part of the car. I show you the real photos. This is the car, and we see that ABS control unit is really located here, like in MotorData information system. Next, we find ECU. This is located under glove box in the passenger side of the car. Next, return to wiring diagram and check the wiring between ABS and ECU. Let's find wiring of the ECU.
Could you please return back to the MotorData display, please?
Okay. Yes. I return to MotorData main screen and find ECU wiring diagram. one ZZFE model motor. Let's open wiring diagram and find connection to ABS control module. This is the ABS control module connection. We need to check two lines between ABS and ECU. In the most common fault in the system, the bad connection in the terminal of ECU. We can open pin data to find ECU connector view and repair the connection of the interesting terminal and find and that's why we can repair the problem using of the MotorData helps to save a lot of time. No need to find information in internet on the different sites. That's all. I think.
Okay, thank you, Andrei, for very interesting presentation. Could you please log out of the demonstration and I show one more feature?
Okay.
Okay. So, do you see my display, right? Do you see the MotorData menu, right? Okay, so in MotorData system, another very useful feature is search by engine. And 2 days ago, a customer called me and said that he's a MotorData subscriber and he has a Toyota Hiace and he cannot find 5A FE engine in our database. So I advise him to use the search by engine. So look here, we have 2 buttons on the lower menu. This is for engine codes and here is another for transmissions. So for instance, he had a 5A FE engine on Toyota Hiace and it is not described here. So we went together here, we found that engine which is 5A FE, and look, this engine is also applicable in other models like Carina, Corolla, Sprinter, and so on, and the ECU is exactly same. So he could find very useful information and information about the ECU layout and wiring diagram based on other models where the same engine is used. And the same you can do with transmissions. For almost all Japanese models, we have the description of transmissions and engines, and they are very much comprehensive. For instance, if we have a CVT on Toyota, you can find a number of models where they are used. So that is almost all we wanted to present you today for our 1-hour webinar. I hope it was useful and you will enhance your skills when you work with your customers and you can understand our database deeper than before. So if you have any questions, please use the chat. If you have no questions, I want to thank everyone who attended this webinar. I want to wish you good luck and a lot of good repairs, and also stay healthy and be in touch at live chats. Anytime you want to ask questions, please be free to log in motordata.net. There will be a pop-up window where our technicians will support you and navigate you through the menu or how to extend your license. Thank you again, and I wish everyone a good day. Cheers. Bye-bye.